All right, folks. So we're gonna be flying in the farthest north I can see that is in the United States. That's considered to be the north. Well, could be the North Pole. We're gonna fly from King Salmon, Alaska, and fly all the way up to Anchorage International Airport. Today we're going to be going from PAKN. I've already entered it in here. PAKN. PAKN to PANC, those are the symbols for those two airports from King Salmon to Anchorage, Alaska. And we're going to be using a 737-800 passenger jet to do this flight. So if I scroll down here, there's some different routes to take. I've decided I'm going to use this route here. This goes from Anchorage, Alaska, AKN. Well, it's not. It's actually this what's called a VOR station down here. It's in King Salmon, Alaska. And we're going to go through Jetway 115, which is this jetway right here. And we're going to make a transition from Tux, which is, I think, here. I'm not sure. No, Tux is right here, I think. Yeah, Tux, which is a waypoint. And there are our what do they call it? The approach, which is a star, is going to go to. We're going to be using a Mach 4, which is basically a procedure to come into Alaska, to Anchorage, Alaska. We're going to be using runway 30 when we leave, and we're going to be using the arrival runway of 7 right when we come into Anchorage, Alaska. And as this video progresses, I'm going to show how to go into FlightAware and get IFR plates. We can't get, there's not much IFR plates for PAKN, or not PAKN, but I should say it's King Salmon, Alaska, but there is some for Anchorage, Alaska. So we'll go on and I gotta generate the flight first. This basically finds the best route for the kind of plane I'm using. And in a few seconds, we should have a route, a plan for it, and we should be able to see the plan for the whole thing. So now let's go inside our jet. And we are basically, we've got power on, but we're not, we don't have the engines on. And we can look outside our plane here and see what it looks like. So let's look over here. Let's go a little bit over here. It's snowing today in King Salmon, Alaska. And we are the Christmas jet. Flying home for Christmas. There we go. Merry Christmas to everybody. And let's go back in the jet. And first thing, we're going to start packaging up here to get going. We've got, I don't know how many passengers on our plane. There's a few. So let's see. I think if we go to here and here on our flight computer here, we can see how many people we have, I think. Oh yeah, 184 passengers. And we're loaded with a bunch of luggage. Quite a few pounds of luggage. And so first thing we're going to do, we're going to take out the wheel chocks, and that basically tells everybody everything to remove. I've just changed, by doing that, I changed the power to the plane. We should have, before doing that, I should have turned on the APU. So we're going to be on battery power here for a second. Well, I think, let's see, yeah, we're on battery power. And I'm going to take and turn on one of the fuel pumps. And we're going to get the APU running, which is a little jet engine in the back of the plane. But it's a very important jet engine, because what it does is it powers. It's got a side compressor on it that powers air. It's like an air compressor. And the 2 engines on this jet are powered by air. There is no electric starter on it, so the air comes from this APU. And you see it revving up here. it takes probably about a minute before it's up to speed. So in the meantime, we're going to turn on some things and make sure things are running right. Since it's going to be powering electric power, we're going to be turning on some lights and stuff that don't take a lot of power yet. So here's the wing lights, the anti-collision lights. We're going to turn on the strobe so we tell everybody that we're starting up. And we're going to turn on the logo light so we can kind of have a picture. I mean, our light will be lit up in the back of the plane. And there it is. See that blue light? That means that we are ready to power up. There we go. Powering up with the APU. The next thing we're going to do is let's get some of these switches on. These are for our fuel pumps. We'll turn on these fuel pumps. So basically we've activated all the fuel pumps, and let's go through and check, make sure everything's running. We've got seatbelt signs. We're going to turn that on. I'm going to turn this to auto. And I need to listen to what's going on here because this thing makes noise. Okay, so now hydraulic pumps on. These are probes or pitot tubes. We want to have those heated so that way we don't get ice in them. And we're going to turn on the de-icing for the window heat so that it doesn't fog up and get ice on it. And as we go down through here. Okay, so now we're going to go through the engine start sequence. First of all, let's set how high we're going to go. We are, according to our plan, we're going to go to 35,000 feet. So we've got to set this little thing for 35,000 feet. This controls the pressure in the plane. So everybody's nice and comfortable and has enough oxygen. So 35,000 feet. And then now we're going to start up the plane. So first thing we're going to do, this is the LPAK and the right, and RPAK. LPAK is the left side, RPAK is the right side. Each of these packs is an air conditioning unit, and it air conditions the plane so everybody's nice and comfortable. But for starting, because it takes some of the air from the air start, we're going to turn them off because this plane won't start without them off. So that's the first thing we'll do. Here's our APU bleed. We're going to take and turn that on so that the bleed comes through. And this is kind of like a pipeline here. It goes across. We've got the engine number 2. It's switched on. And let's go outside and take a look because we should be able to see this plane's engine start up. And we'll go down a little bit. Oh, that was the inside of the plane. So there's our engine in front of us. Let's see if I can get this straightened out so that we're, yeah, right about there maybe. It's propelling a little bit, propelling a little bit because of the wind that's outside. So let's go back in here and we are going to activate the starting system on that engine. Let's go back outside here. Oh, there it goes. So right now we have just air going into the the air starter running on it. There's no air. There's air flowing through it because it's compressing that air, but there's no fuel. No fuel. And I'm going to do a quick check to see if I've got I'm not over blasting the speakers here. Yeah, we're fine. So next thing we got to do is we got to introduce fuel into this plane engine. And the way we'll do that is we'll go down here and we're going to look at the engine controls or the engine gauges. And that gauge right there, N2, is going to be at 25%, and it is. This lever turns on the fuel. So as soon as we turn that on, now that plane engine will really start revving up because now it's got fuel being injected into it. All right, let's turn on the next engine if we can. Go up here. A few seconds, the switch will switch to off. There it goes. We'll put this on, I think, continuous. And I think what that does is it keeps the engine. If the engine flames out, it keeps it running, or it keeps the injectors or the sparkulators are in the engine so that they're still sparking. Okay, turn off the bleed for this engine. Turn it on for this engine. Turn it to start so that the other engine. This is the starboard port side engine, I think you'd say. That was the starboard. Now we'll watch this one rev up. Let's see how we are with controls in here. Oh, we're at 27, so we're good. There we go. Let's see what it sounds like inside the airplane. Alright, I think both engines are started now. Let's go outside and see where should we taxi to. Remember our thing said we were supposed to be going to runway 30, I think it is. Actually, runway 9. I'm wrong. No, runway 30. It's right here, 30. PAKN 30. Okay. So let's see if we can find runway 30 out here. I don't know if it's this way or this way. One of these ways. What does it say down there? Okay, 30 is that way. So I think we should be able to go over this way. So what we'll have to do is taxi down to the end of the runway and make a U-turn. Oh, it's, yeah, 30. Okay. And, that's weird. They put a little turnaround area right here. I don't think I'm going to use that. I want to have as much runway as I can. So once I get down here, I'm going to turn around. Okay, back to the plane. Oh, wait a minute, let's go this way. Back to the plane. And just for show, we will have a... Hold on. Okay, there we go. I'm going to request a cart to back us out. So let's go back in the plane and we'll do a request. If I ever get there. There we go. So we go to menu and we're going to say, oh no, first of all, let's go ahead and get our position initialized. We are at PAKN. So I put that in here. PAKN. Okay. And then our route is going to go from PAKN to PANC. PANC. And we're going to do runway 30. There we go. It draws it on there. That's our where we're going. Departure. We should have, runway 30 selected. No other things. But remember, we're going to direct to Aiken, and then the tax here. So let's go back here and go to the arrival. We are going to 7R. 7R is right here. I like the ILS. ILS 7R. And we're going to arrive, we're going to use AMOT 4. So right here. Transition. It's going to be tux. Yep, there it is. Tux. And is there anything else I can put in there? I don't think so. Nope, that's it. Okay, so that's our full arrival. And then, let's see here. I can go to the next page in this thing. There's our arrival. We're going to go direct to PAKN. So A K N is the 2. Direct to the PAKN. We're going to take J115. So we're going to do, this is a jetway. J115. Then we're going to be at tux. Tucks. Remember, that was our transition there. So I think we could just say tux. How is that spelled? Tucks. Tucks. Okay, there it is. That does the rest of our route. So here we go. We're going to let's activate that. Okay, and the computer has figured out that our altitudes and stuff. I think we put in our. No, we didn't do our altitude. We got to do this page next. So 0 fuel rate, that's already calculated according to our how many passengers we have and how much luggage we have. Cost index, that's calculated in here. We're using a cost index of 44. And flight level, we are going to be going to, I think it's 35,000 feet. So flight level is 350. That goes here. Cruise and wind. Average wind 146 at 35 knots. So 146 degrees at 35 knots. Oops. 35 knots. Okay, that's good. We're going to leave that alone. Our flaps are going to be at 5 degrees. So I'm going to set our flaps. One, 2, 5 degrees. Okay, 5 degrees. So let's put that there. 5. Center of gravity. Trim. We've got to set that to 6 because that's calculated from how much weight we have in the plane. So we'll set that next. These are speeds. V1 that's the highest speed that we can go before we can abort to takeoff. As soon as we get the V1, we can abort. VR is when we rotate. It means that we start lifting the nose of the wing off the runway so we can start going airborne. And V2 is our speed that we should be going at once we get off the runway. And so that's all set. Let's go back to here. And this is our little trim wheel, a big trim wheel actually. It adjusts the stabilizer. It's in back of the plane. So we're going to turn that till it gets to 6. See, it's at 5 right now. There's a little dial indicator here. And so we're going to keep on turning it till it gets to the number, till it gets past the 5, and then the next notch, which is at 6. It's slow. So there's the 5. This keeps the nose of the plane on the right level, so when we take off, we're not being forced on the ground and having to pull on the yoke, or pushing, or having to push on the yoke once we take off. Okay, so let's see a few more things. Rejected takeoff, or this is we're going to set our braking system so it uses a RTC, which is rejected takeoff. If we reject this takeoff, it will stop the plane. And I think that's about it for now. We're going to take and turn on some things. The flight director, this thing, we'll turn that on. We'll turn on our speed. That keeps our, we'll adjust our speed when we take off. And we want to put our heading at, I think at the time, well, if we're taking off from 30, was it 30? I think it was 30. Looks like it. Three zero, which would be 330 degrees. I mean 300 degrees. Right there, we might have to adjust that later on. Okay, right there. Remember our speed for takeoff? I think it was 150. Let's make sure of that. Yep, 155. We'll put that in our speed control. Okay. Now let's see. We started up both engines. This can turn off. Let's look at our controls up here. Don't see any red lights. I don't think that's a big deal. Okay, yaw damper. Let's turn that on. Okay, hope that stays on. Everything looks good there. Okay, let's get this thing moving. Now we can call for a pushback. So I'm going to go and turn on, go to menus, actions, ground services. No, pushback. Which way should we go? Okay, we're going to push back about 60 degrees. Nose pointing towards the left as we push back. So nose, turn nose to the left. 60 degrees. Okay. Let's get a tug to push us back.
Cockpit to ground. Go ahead. We've been cleared for push and start. Tail to the right. Copy that. Ready for push, tail right. Release parking brake, please.
Parking brake. It's released.
Brakes released.
Let's look outside and watch what's going on. turn off the lights in here. I'll be right back. Okay. It's a little more than 6 degrees. Whoops. Alright, let's go on the plane.
Pushback complete. Parking brake set.
Alright, we'll set those brakes.
Brake set.
Okay, he's gone. We're ready to taxi. Let's get this thing to the runway and get it up in the air. Here we go. Doesn't like the parking brakes on. There we go. Okay, so remember we normally we get clearance to taxi and we get clearance to go on the runway. This right coming up right here with the red on it is the hold short line. It means I've got to stop and ask the tower for clearance to get on the runway. But in this case, we're not going to do it because we don't have ATC controlling us. So we're okay. Okay, we're going to make this plane turn around real fast. Here we go. Okay. Now we gotta make sure everything's running right. We got the 2 engines running good. And 50% power. Okay, here we go.
Knots.
Okay, we're gonna come up to rotate speed. Right there. Up we go.
Positive rate of climb.
Alright, gear up. Flaps up. Turn to the we're gonna turn to the right. And Nose down a little bit so we get some speed. Actually, we shouldn't be doing this yet. See our route there? It's on the bottom there. That's our route that we should be taking. So let's just head back the other way, and we're going to turn this thing when it's supposed to turn, which is right about now. Now we're turning.
Bank angle.
And
Bank angle.
I'm over speeding
Bank
it.
angle.
250 knots if you're below 10,000. They're still going too fast. Okay, there we are. We're lined up. We're going to turn on autopilot now. As soon as we straighten out. And autopilot is right over here. LNAV, VNAV. If it turns on. Oh, we might have something's not configured right. Alright, let's configure it. I think we have to probably hit one of these things here. Oh, that's the problem. I didn't have the flaps set. I don't know why. I thought I had set this. There we go. I think now we can set it. Nope. What else am I missing? I'm going way over speed. Alright, well, let's just continue up. We're going to hit this. So we do a level change. And let's get this thing so that the speed's right. We should be going probably around 210 knots at this point. 220, let's say. Okay, that takes care of the speed. I'm going to put the spoilers out so we go a little slower because I'm speeding too much. There we go. Now we're good. Okay, I'm going to figure out what's going on with this. There we go. Okay. So what I just activated was a VNAV, which is the vertical navigation. So now the plane's under control, except I've got to put my altitude higher. What was our altitude we want to go to? $35,000 feet. There we go. So we can watch some of these things. This so this VNAV altitude, that means I'm using, and the flight controller is using a VNAV. I'm using LNAV, which is a lateral navigation, which is navigation along the map. And I've got the speed control on. When you change speeds, it's changed the speed to 320 or 315 knots. first thing that takes priority is the speed. Now, at this point, the next thing that takes priority is gaining altitude. So eventually, unless our route coming out of here is set different, no, we should be going up. Yeah, we should be heading upwards. It's holding off for a little bit for some reason. Let's take a look outside. I put a little different mode because we're not climbing. I don't understand why. At least not yet. If I put in this mode here, this is the level change mode, it will change the level of the airplane. Because according to our plan, we should be climbing right now. See, it says it's CIFJI. CIFJI. We should be at 33,000 feet. And we're not. We're at 10,000. So we're going to start climbing here so I can get up to that altitude. See the little bar here? They call it the banana. That tells us that by the time we get to this next waypoint, just a little bit after it, we'll be at our altitude, 35,000 feet. So this is the map that shows exactly where we're going. It's GPS controlled, and it knows where. Well, it can plot out the waypoints and show where we should be heading to. There's a few different modes. They're controlled up here. Plan mode shows what our plan is. There's us as the airplane. We're coming towards here, and we can step through the plan to different waypoints. So see, there's us coming into Anchorage. Anchorage is this little area right in here. We've got a lot of waypoints in that area. If we zoom in, we can see those waypoints. And it shows our route that we're going to take to get to the runway. And I don't know. I'm going to take a look at that because we might have to change that as we go. We're going to bring up some charts and stuff and make some plans there. Yeah, we're hitting a little turbulence. There's little pilots. Okay, let's start planning out our stuff here. I have to. Okay, so flight aware. Where are we going to? We're going to. Uh-oh, it doesn't like something here. Whoops, that will help. Our air conditioning was turned off. It's gotta be this way. There we go. That's what that alarm was about. We forgot to turn on the air conditioning after we took off here, or before we took off. Okay, back to what we're doing here. Flight aware. We got PANC is where we're heading to. Okay, IFR plates. So remember we're using AMOT 4. This is where Tux is. Remember Tux in the plan? Tux is right here. Tux comes in, and we come in through here, go up north, come through this way, and then we end up at Anchorage. This is the Anchorage UOR station. Normally you'd get vectors from air traffic control. In our case, we're going to be making our own vectors. So let's look at something else here. Here's where we're going to have a problem, because we can't just make a U-turn and come in the airport. We're going to fly down here somewhere. So we're going to have to make up some headings for ourselves. This is the route into the airport right here. Going here to here and out to the side. And so what we should really do, instead of going to Clam and then to Ted, should make up our own here. See, we're going to end up over here. This is where it comes to be a problem, because we're coming in through here. As it say, it says Amat. So once we get to Amat, we're going to go directly to our assigned route to get into the airport. So we should delete Clam. So we're going to do something with the flight controller here. We're going to take this one, WeWord, and it brings into what they call a scratch pad. And then we're going to go up here. We're going to click on Clam. There. Now let's look at our route. So those dotted lines are our route, our new route. We're going to come right this way instead of going way down here and then having to turn around. Let's execute that. There it is. We've corrected that problem. Now we're going to come right in through here, and we're going to come into the airport and land at the airport using the ILS. Our next thing we got to do is to look at another chart. Let's bring in another flight aware plan here, and it was A and K. Let's see, we're getting up in altitude. PANC. PANC. Flights. What runway? Okay, the runway we're going to come into is 17. It's 07R. Right here. This is RNAV. RNAV uses completely GPS. Here's ILS. I don't know which one is better, but this is the better one. I mean, this is the good one too. So we're gonna. Oh, I see. ILS localizer. Okay, let's use this one. So remember we're coming into our airplane's coming into WeWord. That's this one right here. No, WeWoo. So we're coming in right here, and then we're coming in for our ILS. We're going to hit the, so we're going to acquire the ILS right here and come into the airport. It's 12 miles away from the airport, nautical miles. The localizer is 111.3, so we've got to put that into our airplane's navigation system right here. 111.3. Oop, 3. There. Okay, that's needed for us. There's another thing, another navigation aid called a VOR, which is the Anchorage VLR, and we probably could receive that right now. It's 113.15. We'll put that into this other side. 113.15. There. That's should show us some information on here. See that line that's being traced out from the VOR. Let's go to a different map mode. Go to this mode. There's our VOR. It's giving us DME as distance measuring equipment, and it's saying we're 123 miles away from there. And this is the identifier TED. And this is the direction it's coming from, right here. TED has actually sends a Morse code signal out. And if I turn this one on, I don't know if you can hear that, but it's really faint. It should be saying Morse code TED. It should be DA, which is a T, E is a dit, and D is DA dit dit. So listen for that. It's so faint because we're so far away from it. I heard it. Okay, we'll turn that off. So we don't have to listen to Morse code all day. Boy, we're just coming up there and we're going to have to descend before we get to here. I don't know. This is going to get pretty short. Yeah, we're gonna have to start defending now. Let's turn this thing to 0. See if we can put on vertical navigation. So this little number right here is telling us how far down we should be. Same with this little indicator. So we should be heading down, and it is. I think our planned route was not enough climbing to get up to that altitude. We're starting to descend now because we're at that point where we've got to start descending for Anchorage, Alaska, for the Anchorage, Alaska airport. And this thing here, saying for Tux, we should be at 9,000 feet. Or no, next one, Erie. This one here, we're going to be, okay, below 16,000 and above 9,000. I don't know if we're going to be going down fast enough to get to that altitude. So that's 40 miles away. That's what this marker is, 40. The general rule of thumb is 3 miles for every 3,000 feet. So we're gonna go down to 9,000. I don't know. We'll see. This number here is how far down we have to go from where it's planned. And see the numbers decreasing. So that's good. It means we're going down fast enough to catch up with it. Once we catch up with it, this little indicator will be in the middle. Okay, well, let's wait it out. We're going to take a look outside. think up here is the moon. Yeah, looks like the moon's in front of us. Well, we'll get there. We're supposed to be below 16,000. I think we need to get 10,000 feet down. So take 10,000, take 10, multiply it by 3, we get 30 miles. And that's about where we're at, 30 miles from here to here. That's 40 right there. Well, we're a little less than 30. I think we'll get to that altitude by the time we get there. Not much to see out here. Sorry about that. Look at we have a trail there. Do you see that? No scheduled descent. I don't know what that means. 151 feet. 150 feet. We're going to set this little knob here. Once again, the runway, this is our auto skid, our anti-skid. It sets how much braking we can do. It says an auto brake actually. How long is the runway? Let's see. According to this, 12,400 feet. I think that's what it means. This tells us a lot about how we're going to do our approach. What we do if we miss the approach? We go this way. This is a quick reference to how to do the missed approach. So if you're coming down to land here and you can't see anything, your visibility is really bad, and you want to go into the missed approach. Now let's see, down here. I think the 150 is our minimums. 150 feet, I think. Here's what to do if you have a missed approach. It's very simple. Climb to 780 feet. Make a turn to 230 degrees while climbing to 3000. And you head to TED, which is a VOR out there, which is a navigation unit. That's this one here. That's what we programmed into our plane. And then you go to Jokp. Jokp is probably a holding point. It's right here. So you'd hold there and you wait till traffic tell you the tower or control tells you to head back to over here to start heading into the airport. Okay, let's go back and see where we're at. Unable at cruise altitude. I think we're down. We need to do a descent. We're getting there. See, this is 1,300 feet. So I'm not worried that we're too high. I mean, I could take some measures here to get lower, but I'm just going to let the computer do it for us. Okay. Not much to see out there. Alright, we're going to start making a turn here in a second. These little green dots here are deceleration points, so we're going to be decelerating here in a second. This speed right here is going to start heading downward. There we go. Let's look outside and watch this turn. Wait a minute. Wish the day was a little clearer. See, the computer's lowering our speed. See that progressively going downward. Let's take some measures here to take us down lower. I'm going to start heading down faster. And turn this on. This will bring our speed faster. Our vertical speed down faster. The problem is it favors the speed that you put it at. So if you put it at 2,000 feet per minute, the speed that you're assigned to could go up. Okay, so we're going to deploy some drags, some spoilers. That's that little lever there. That should start slowing down the plane. It brings up these little spoilers that are outside. It's on the wings right here. Oh, not this way. I want to go. So I'll give it some vertical speed, a little less vertical speed. Because I don't want to go speeding down the road here. I want this to be at 250 knots before we get below 10,000. Now let's give it a little more speed down. But we gotta watch our speed that we don't go over speeding here. Not so much. Now we're getting to the hundreds now. See this here? We're coming back to where we should be. We're trying to speed a little bit. Okay, we're just about there. See, this thing's just about in the middle here. I'm gonna turn on VNav again. VNav controls everything: the speed, how fast we're going down, everything. So once we turn that on, the computer is doing it for us. So now we're in the middle. Good. We're not speeding. Good. Let's zoom this in a little bit. Pretty soon we're turning in. We're going to turn, and right here, this turn is going to be for final approach. And since we're below 200 knots, 250 knots, I'm going to put out 1 degree of flap. That basically keeps us slowing down. So, oh yeah, it's slowing us down some more. We're coming down. We're going to be coming down to 200 knots. And I have the spoilers out, so let's undeploy those. Huh, we might need them. All our flaps. The flaps provide drag too, so we may not need spoilers. Okay, I'm going to do 5 degrees of flaps now. Now you see the computer here is figuring out our speed. We don't want to be in the red zone. And that's according to what kind of flaps we put out. Flaps with the things on the wings here. All these right in here. I'm starting to see the ocean. Okay, so now I think as we slow down, we put some more flaps out. One more time here. This little knob right here, we see is we're at 15, or no, we're 10 degrees of flaps right now. Okay, let's put more. We go to 15 degrees of flaps. And it's telling us we need this. The computer's telling it to slow down. I don't know. It's turned the gas on so much. We shouldn't be doing that. We should be letting it slow down. gonna put out the. Okay, now I'm gonna put out the gear. So let's look at the gear come out. Here we go. Okay. Gear deployed. No. No. This way. No. Okay, so now we're locked onto the localizer. We're going to hit the approach button. So now it uses the localizer for approach. Alright, so we're coming up to Telly. Telly is at 1,600 feet. We should be at, and we're at 1,600 feet here. As soon as we get there, in a few seconds, we should start descending. Landing lights are on. I gotta watch for that runway to be in front of us. I don't know where it's at. I don't see it yet. Okay, so now we just start descending. We're on the glide slope. That's this little diamond here. And we're on the localizer. That's that diamond there. We're at 1,200 feet. 1,200 feet. And we're heading down now. check everything out. Yep. Everything's good. Still no runway though. Oh, there it is. There it is. Now we're configured right. That's our runway right there. Okay, we're taking over the airplane.
Sink rate. Terrain. Sink rate.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Where's that little car? Get out of my way. We're supposed to stop for me. Okay, now we're going to turn off both engines. Right. And we're emptying passengers. Let's turn off our lights. Yeah, let's turn everything off. All right, we're done. That's it for this flight.